The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number. The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required, as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required, as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria are only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute's Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality. All end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute's Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you, and apologies for starting a little bit late. We're trying to wait to ensure that we have a certain part of the dignitaries and special guests that were invited to be here. I'm wondering how I'm going to cope with these two giant microphones in my front, even with the one I have in my hand, but I'll try. So good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you all. Thank you for taking time out to join this landmark historic event. It's a landmark indeed, happening in Nigeria, West Africa, and also Africa. And it's also something that it's very, very significant. Today is September 30th. Tomorrow is October 1st. And why is this significant? The collaboration we're witnessing today that is bringing forth the launch of Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 data center is a synergy between two organizations, Huawei and Cloud Exchange. Right. And why is it significant? Because tomorrow, as October 1st, as we all know, is Nigeria's Independence Day, and coincidentally, it's also China's National Day. So it's something that is very, very historic, as the two nations are celebrating something very significant. A collaboration also exists to bring forth a new innovation. A round of applause, please. A round of applause. I think we should be highly excited at this time. All right. So thank you again for being part of it. For everyone seated there, it's a pleasure to have you for being part of this historic event. And we promise you it's really going to be an exciting time within the time frame we're going to be running through this together. Right, my name is Olayemi Joseph. I'm just going to be the handler for today's, for this afternoon event. All right, so we have a couple of special guests that have been invited. We're all extremely special. We just have one or two few people that we would like to recognize. And then we still have some of them coming in. But as we see them in, as we receive them in, would introduce them. But right away in my front, I have a list which I'm going to be running through. So please, as I just welcome them, please help me to put your hands together to just welcome them. You join me to welcome them. Right? I appreciate it if we can do that. All right. So please permit me to recognize, start on the list from Huawei, the Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Eric Yang. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much for coming. Just writing that, I also have Mr. Abib Alibioshu, the MD of Vietnam, right? Please welcome. Thank you very much for joining this historic event. I also have Mr. Shegun Onokomaya, Synergy Capital. Okay, thank you very much for coming, sir. Thank you very much. I also have Mr. Remy Adejumo, CEO, Cloudflex. You're very much welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. And I also have a brother, a friend, Mr. Dayo Abegunde, CEO of Halogen. Thank you very much for coming, sir. And I would also like to recognize Cloud Exchange, the pioneer behind this idea, the one that is running Cloud Exchange, the MD CEO, Mr. Glad Debeto. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for coming. So we would still have more people in. As I have the list, then we would be able to recognize them. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm having more list coming in. Okay. So we also have a lot of guest present partners and customers that we're also working together, or that has worked together in this collaboration and coming to witness this landmark event too. I have from Keystone Bank, representative from Keystone Bank, just wave your hands if we have anybody from Keystone Bank, wave your hands. Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you. A round of applause, please. Let's join our hands to welcome them. I also have from Providence Bank. Do we have anyone from Providence? Thank you very much for coming. Please let's welcome them by putting our hands together. Then we have from Globus Bank. We have thank you very much. A round of applause, please, as we welcome them. Then I have from Greeno. Do we have anyone from Greeno in here? Okay. Then I have from NAS, N-A-S-S. That's the way it was written for me anyway. I don't know, maybe it's still coming. And then I have from Ink Technology. I don't know if I pronounce it well. E-I-N-Q. Technology. Okay. And I also have from Sochahio. I don't know, Obina, if I pronounce it well. Anyway, but I guess as we have more of those people, we'll be able to recognize them. Okay, so without wasting too much time, let's, we do not yet have the representative from Lagos State. Okay, so we'll probably wait until they come in. But let's start this event today as we unveil Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefab data center, and we're going to be taking a very short time. We're going to be having a presentation from one of the representatives here from Huawei Technologies. And please join me as I welcome upstage to share with us Huawei's national development in Nigeria, its understanding and contribution to the digital energy and data center industry, the Deputy Managing Director of Huawei Nigeria, who is also leading the digital power team in Nigeria, Mr. Eric Yang. A round of applause as he comes up, please. Please, a round of applause as he comes up to take his opening presentation.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Eric from Huawei. First of all, I would like to thank you all present here today. I'm very pleased to join all of you here for the groundbreaking ceremony of the first Tier 4 data center west of West Africa in Nigeria, together with our distinguished partner, Cloud Exchange. And I also pleased with the fact that this is a collaborative efforts between the team Huawei and the team Cloud Exchange. My heartiest congratulations. For industry, data centers are the fundamental and the critical infrastructure to enable digitization. Before I assumed my current position at the early of this year, I was responsible for the wireless solutions in Nigeria. By that time, I could see the data volume and the data growth at every single mobile base stations for the particular operators at every cities and every state in Nigeria. By that time, I also acknowledged that the wave of digitization is unstoppable in Nigeria because the data growth is almost 90% growth per year. As the smartphone penetration rate and the enterprise digitization going on, more companies today realize how important it is to tap into the remarkable power of digital technology to add value to their environment and users. For example, many companies today rely on data centers to deliver real-time and value-added services in areas such as telecommunications, manufacturing, high-frequency trading in finance, and so on. Besides companies, governments are also keen to ride the wave of digitization. and reap its many benefits by creating smart city, intelligent multi-cloud, and so on, which rely on a robust data center and enable better living for all the citizens. As more individuals, companies, and governments ride the wave of digitization, the data explosion we experience today will keep growing in scale and strength. According to the research, it was estimated that the data will grow over 175 zettabytes from 2019 to 2025. It is very important to have a robust environment that meets industry best practice and ready for tomorrow's growth and evolution. Secondly, I would like to talk about the cooperation and the co-location service. As we know, most of the existing data centers in Nigeria are more traditional-like. According to research, for every downtime in data center could actually cause the business loss and closure. Every business owners want to make profit and sustain their business, and this is the reason why they need to work with an environment that understands the reliability of the data center, which is the base rock of every modern business. Cloud Exchange, in collaboration with Huawei, has taken it upon herself to build the first Tier 4 data center of the West Africa in Nigeria. We are pleased that Cloud Exchange has chosen Huawei as its partner. We believe that Huawei solution will enable Cloud Exchange to achieve the business success. With our expert team in Nigeria, we will continue to support Cloud Exchange to provide the high-quality data center services. Cloud Exchange Data Center has been certified by the highest data center body globally, the Uptime Institute, as the Tier 4 level. This data center will help the business owners focus majorly on their prior business by giving them environment with the highest level of availability, business continuity, and the value for money. With all this being said, I want to use this opportunity to appeal industries, companies across all the sectors to choose a reliable service provider as your primary data center or disaster recovery center. This will not only sustain your business, but increase your ROI and automatically to reduce the huge operational cost. Thirdly, I would like to talk something about Huawei and our solutions. Huawei has been delivering the top ICT solutions for over 22 years in Nigeria since 1999. Currently, Huawei has the 2 head offices, 6 branches, and 15 outstanding support centers that cut across the different locations in Nigeria. Huawei has been providing and supporting our partners, customers, and industries with our unique solution, which enables our customers to focus on their prime line of business. We help our customers to achieve their goals through our robust, smart, and efficient solutions. We also help our customers to reduce their time to market through our scalable and flexible solutions. And such is what we are seeing here today. With our advanced and reliable solutions, we have deployed more than 1,000 data centers globally, cutting across all the sectors. Huawei also has the highest number of certified data centers in Africa, and this is what's made possible through our outstanding solutions and our team of experts. Looking forward, Huawei will keep innovating on our data center solutions, especially the prefab modular data center solutions, with the concept of one layer, one DC, one rack, one DC. Along the line of electrical and electronic, together with the digital and AI technologies, we do believe the preferred modular solution is going to be well accepted by our clients. We also believe this solution is going to benefit customers' business more because it enables capacity follows network planning, investment follows business growth. In closing, I would like to thank everybody present here today for your time, support, including all our customers. I say thank you. I also would like to thank the management team of Cloud Exchange for collaborating with Huawei on this successful journey. I also wish and do believe that we could win more and more together in future. Huawei will always be behind you. Thank you.
Let's give a more round of applause for Mr. Eric for that session. A round of applause for Mr. Eric, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Eric. Sincere apologies. I actually made an omission, and I'm seriously apologizing on that. But I want to assume that we're supposed to take welcome speech, and I want to believe that from each of the partner side, it's also a welcome speech. But we're going to go back and start with the one we're supposed to start with. So my apologies to everyone and also to the management of Cloud Exchange. So we'll rewind a bit. Apologies, all right? So please, let's put our hands together as we take the welcome speech from the one and only person that is leading the team, that is actually sharing the innovation ideas with us. And I want to actually say something that is very significant. There is something that is about this event. It's saying ideas are easy, implementation is hard, but we made it happen. And there's no other person that could share with us how we made it happen or how it happened than the person that is leading the team. So please, let's put our hands together as a welcome upstage, the Managing Director, CEO of Cloud Exchange, Mr. Glad Debetso, for his welcome speech on Cloud Exchange Service Planning. A round of applause, please, as it comes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely a beautiful, beautiful day today for us at Cloud Exchange, and certainly for the whole industry. And before I even start, I'm filled with a lot of gratitude for all of you. Majority of our clients pushed us to get to this point. All of our partners from Synergy, Huawei, Cummins, AOS, a lot of these people are listening to us in multiple countries as well as we speak. All of these people here made it happen for us here today. Cloudflex, one of our first customers in our data center. TD, we've been working with TD and Huawei from the beginning. FSDH, some of the funders that helped us get to this point. It is really, really appreciated, all of your support. It's been a real ecosystem that got us to be here at this point. So thank you very much. So I'm going to start by maybe sharing with you a little bit, because if I really go in details with the story of Cloud Exchange and how we got here, it will really take us the whole day. But I'm going to be very brief to try and give you an idea of how we managed to accomplish what we've accomplished. So our history is that we have been in Nigeria for over 14 years, and we were known as Dimension Data Nigeria and Dimension Data Ghana in Ghana. And by the year 2016, a lot of the leaders of Dimension Data, myself as the MD at the time, we felt that there was a real need for an improvement of the infrastructure that we used to use at the time. And at the time, we were using a lot of other providers' data centers, and mostly they were not tiered, or at best they were tier 3. And we felt that there was a real need to improve that infrastructure. Because at the core of what we do at Cloud Exchange, we believe that infrastructure is the real bedrock of what the continent needs to move towards the fourth industrial revolution. However, our current shareholders at the time were not really looking forward to expansion in Nigeria. And this is when we approached this private equity firm called Synergy Capital, based out of Mauritius, but certainly a totally West African fund. And these guys managed to give us all the support that we need so that we can actually start birthing the audacious goal of building a tier 4 data center. At the time that we said we're going to build a tier 4 data center in 2016, it was totally unheard of that there can be a tier 4 data center in our region. I think the obvious reasons was the power considerations that a lot of people know. I think I remember going on the media saying that this is our goal, and I got a lot of flack from a lot of the industry colleagues. Well, here we are, and I think the fact that we had the will to dream about something that was not done before is what I encourage all of us in this industry and all of us in this continent to continue doing, because I think the wheel on its own is a big first step towards lifting the glass ceiling in a lot of our challenges in the continent. So thank you very much for Synergy for that. We then went across multiple countries in the world, majority in Europe and in Asia, looking for a partner to help us build a pragmatic, fit for purpose, at the right price, tier 4 data center. And this is when we made a decision to go with Huawei, and it has been really a fruitful partnership. So this is how our history looks like, and this is the vision that we had put down. This slide is a 2016 slide that I put together when I was approaching multiple private equity firms at the time. And we had said that while we were a pure system integration company at the time, our vision was to truly be a cloud company. And part of being a cloud company, we've identified that we wanted to have our own data center of the highest quality. And inside those data centers, we wanted to have a homegrown cloud platform of our own, as well as multiple cloud platforms from our partners. So that was the first point of call. We dreamt about something that we wanted to be. Today, all of you guys, you are helping us celebrate the end of what we term there as phase 1. So we have completed that 72 racks that is sitting in Ikoyi, and we are excited to say that we are on track to achieving the rest of our medium-term vision. The next stage that is coming is for us to expand Lagos 72 racks, and then of course build another data center in Abuja as well as Accra. This has always been in our mind that for us to be a hyperscaler, for us to be truly impactful in the market, we have to be in multiple countries, to enable disaster recovery in multiple countries, and also to just enable seamless movement of what we call African giants, the companies that basically grow as multinationals but grow out of Africa. And we believe that for us to enable that, we have to have connectivity across multiple countries in the continent. And certainly in our medium term, we're focusing on West Africa. The last phase there, we are saying we want to enter the Francophone market. And we believe the easiest way for us to go into Francophone is through Abidjan. And that's the last phase of our medium-term vision. So one of the next couple of years, we'll be sitting here again and we'll revisit exactly the same slide. And as we continue to move from one phase to another, this is our goal as Cloud Exchange, and we believe is the right thing for the continent, because everything that we try to do at Cloud Exchange is anchored in meaningful work, because we don't want to do things that don't give us real satisfaction. And we believe creating an infrastructure bedrock in the continent is something that this generation has to do so that the next generation can truly move into the fourth industrial revolution. So the next slide just shows you exactly what I said and the capacity that we're intending to build. So at the top of this medium-term vision, we're hoping to have 850 racks across Lagos, Abuja, Accra, and Abidjan. This is how the picture completes for the medium term for Cloud Exchange. And we ask you to come with us on this journey as it has now formally began with the closure of our phase 1 of our vision. So we have from the beginning been talking about a triple bottom line way of looking at a business, because we feel that the planet is making all of this charade possible. So everything that we do, if we love our lifestyle, if we love the species, we have to think about our environment. And we have to, of course, think about the profitability of our shareholders, and then we have to think about the communities that we live in. At this particular time, I want to just highlight the pain and the thought process that went through for us when we chose the company Viathan, an IPP, to provide 98% of the power in the data center. So in our data center, we are proud to say that we've got clean, green power. And this has been the most important thing for us to accomplish, because not only is it efficient, but is clean for the environment, and we can continue to grow in a sustainable manner. So at this point, let's just draw some of the key features of why there's a big fuss about us launching a tier 4 data center. What is it really about as we really break it down? What makes Cloud Exchange a unique colocation company? So there's a few things, and I'm going to highlight some of them. So the first thing is that we have fault tolerance data center with 2N redundancy for all the critical infrastructure. From a power and cooling, we also have a 2N redundancy for all the critical equipment. From a connectivity point of view, we've got multiple ISPs coming into our data center, so we are fully carrier neutral. From a location point of view, we are in the middle of the CBD. We are in Ikoyi, so in terms of latency, this is the best you can get. And then certainly in terms of you as clients and partners to access your data center equipment, you've got easy access, as majority of the data centers normally choose far away or out of the town locations purely because of cheaper land prices. But we have chosen to be in the center so that we can make it a little bit easier for our customers. Our data center is fully secure from a physical point of view, but also is secure from a logical point of view. We've got a SOC in our data center. So these are some of the few things that really tells you the difference between us and other colocation businesses. The final one that really cements the unique selling features for Cloud Exchange is that we were born from a system integration background. So therefore, we've got professionals who understand system integrations. So from when your client walks into our data center, we are able to provide professional services for them, and we are able to take it all the way to managed services for the client, purely because we always had those skills from the birth of a Cloud Exchange. The third pillar that I've been talking about this morning, it was profitability for our shareholders. It was taking care of our planet, hence our green data center. And our data center is green in multiple ways, and I'm sure when some of my colleagues come here, you'll start to hear how green our data center really is. But the last thing that also is very important to us is how we continue to be relevant and support the communities where we do business. And this here that you are seeing on the screen is a Cloud Exchange technical school that has been going since the beginning of Cloud Exchange. This remains very important to us because we believe that, yes, we say that the foundation is the infrastructure, but once you've got the infrastructure, that infrastructure has to be operated by human resources. And if we don't systematically, year on, continue to educate the African youth to take advantage of the fourth industrial revolution, will remain having shortages of resources in the continent and will not be able to see our own potential. So this school has been going to truly increase the supply of tech resources in the industry, and we are very proud of that school. All of this is the story of Cloud Exchange, and you cannot separate one from the other when you look at us. You cannot separate the environment and the community and profitability from us. We look at it all together because we feel that for Cloud Exchange to continue to be a successful company, it has to first operate within a successful community, a successful country, a successful region, and of course a successful planet or world. So on that point of view, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you so much for coming to witness this moment that has been coming for us for the past 5 years. I've got war stories to tell you, but I think it will be better to tell those stories during lunch. But for now, all I can say is I'm filled with gratitude for your support, our clients, for your support, our investors, for a lot of your support for OEMs who helped us build this data center. And thank you very much.
Please, let's do more a round of applause for Mr. Glad. That's, sorry, sir, your phone. There's no other one, you will agree with me, there's no other one to share all those insight into how the journey started and how it is today, other than the CEO of Cloud Exchange. A round of applause again for him, please. A round of applause again for him. Thank you very much for the leadership quality to actually chair this innovation and this landmark historic event. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, would have a lot of dignitaries and special guests that have been invited, and as they come in, we'll introduce them. And I'm honored, and we are very, very honored and highly excited to have in our midst. You know, this is happening in Lagos State, and we're proud to be part of this happening in Lagos State. And we're so excited to have one of the leadership in the team of the Lagos State, driving innovations and making sure that there is very great development in Lagos State and as well as in Nigeria. So we're very honored to have one of the distinguished gentlemen, young and vibrant, very eloquent, the Honorable Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources in Lagos State. He came in while Mr. Glad was doing his welcome speech. Please, let's put our hands together as we welcome Mr. Olalere Odushote into our midst. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. We're excited to have you. Energy is a very fundamental part of data center, and you will agree with me. And just like Mr. Glad said, the data center is built on clean energy, and that's one thing that is very important. So please, may I please invite our Honorable Commissioner to give few words in this historic event. A round of applause, please. Honorable Commissioner, we're very excited to have you in our midst, and would also like to hear a little bit from you concerning this historic event. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Oops. No, it's an honor to be here. It's personally a pleasure to be here. This is a landmark event, a Tier 4 data center in Lagos, the first in Africa. It's truly something to be proud of, and it's something I'm amazed about. Many years ago, Lagos State moved from burning diesel fuels in its secretariat and moved to start burning gas to generate power, to take the state secretariat off the grid and release more power for the rest of Lagos to be able to distribute. It's interesting to see this happening now. We saw it coming. Earlier this year in February, we organized a roundtable for the ICT sector to try and talk to them, to tell them to move to cleaner fuels. To make Lagos State a 21st century economy is a dream of the governor of Lagos, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, and you cannot achieve that by continuing to foul the atmosphere by burning dirty fuels. So it was, it's a pleasure for me to speak about Viathan, which is one of the companies that we supported. I remember that many years ago we got Viathan to provide power for the Water Corporation, the hospitals on the island, etc. And it's heartening to see them being part of this Tier 4 data center. It's a pleasure, and it's a nice surprise. When they told us that they were finally going to get into that, we're very happy to support them. We want to thank Cloud Exchange for taking Lagos into the 21st century by demonstrating that this can be done here. We're really happy. We want to continue to support it. We have other people that we're working with who are here as well. If there are other ICT centers that are wondering if there are providers that can support their energy needs and also help us to continue to improve the atmosphere in Lagos. We have Electron, we have Energy, we have Solad, and so, of course we have Viathan that has expressed an interest to continue to help us clean up the Lagos environment by continuing to be available with the infrastructure that's here. We want to thank again Cloud Exchange for helping us to pave the way. Everybody else who comes after this will be coming after you. The first Tier 4 data center in Africa is this one. So we want to again encourage you. You're welcome to Lagos. Feel free to expand and build more. And again, we will support you. So I want to thank everybody for coming here and also express that Lagos State is prepared to continue to support everyone that wants to bring development to the state. So thank you again, everyone.
A round of applause for the Honorable Commissioner as he brings goodwill from the Lagos State team. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. And it's a pleasure to have you. And thank you for rolling out that Lagos State government is more than willing to support this innovation. All right, I also like to mention to everyone, there is no way we will launch an historic event like this and we will not want the whole world to know. So we're online. We're fully online. There's an online streaming on YouTube at the moment. So we can, maybe we'll share the handles much later, or we'll announce the handles so that we can also send to other people to join and be part of it. And just to also give more insights, we've had some other updates on the client list, and then I would like to also recognize them on the client list. So so I'll run through the list again. We've had Keystone Bank, Providence. So the correct name I pronounced that time was Sokatua. Do we have somebody from Sokatua? Okay, please, if you are here, just, just wave your hands. Globus Bank, we welcome you. Crino, Inc. Technologies, we welcome you. Deal Center, we welcome you. Unity Bank would also welcome you. And we have gentlemen of the ladies and press. We have from media houses, TV, Event Diary, The Nation, Brand Network, Communication Weekly, Technology Mirror, Digital Times, IT Rams, Tech Build, AP News, Channels, Guardian, Leadership, Business Today, and Authority Newspaper, Sun Newspaper, Daily Times, Daily Independent, Vanguard, Redeem FM, Beat FM, Top Radio, Inspiration FM. So we have all those media houses to also ensure that we're sending the information of these, and we're also sharing these ideas with the global world. All right, so as we proceed in the event, we'd also like to bring up stage one of the key personalities in the management team of Cloud Exchange to also share with us the reason for deciding to build the first Tier 4 data center, and also what brought about the cooperation or the strategic partnership in considering Huawei. So may I please, with a round of applause, request that we put our hands together as we welcome up stage the Deputy Managing Director of Cloud Exchange, Mr. Olayemi Anifowoshe. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, the Honorable CEOs here present, our partners, our clients, and everyone here to witness this fantastic event and then the launching of the first prefabricated data center in sub-Saharan Africa. It is indeed a wonderful day and a day for everyone to really, do believe that Africa can make things happen. I will share with us some of the things that we had considered and that helped in making the decision around the choice of a Tier 4 data center, and also why we chose Huawei as a partner in delivering this solution. We've had quite an extensive market survey, and it's one thing that everyone will believe that over the past 2 decades, internet-dependent businesses, has taken over everything. You hardly can do anything meaningful on a global basis without, being connected, without using internet. And this has also brought about the need for you to be available at all times. The need for you to be available, the need for you to be global, the need for you to be reachable at every part of the world has then also led to a surge in keeping, storing, ensuring that you have adequate place where your data is stored, where your equipment are kept. And there has also now been a surge, in the development of data centers. And we've had, levels of data centers before now, but you will all agree with me that the security requirement of today is not what it used to be in the past few years. And this has also then led to discontinuous development, in the data center ratings that we have. Uptime Institute happens to be the most recognized when it comes to assessing the capability and then the performance level of data center. And the highest for now is the Tier 4 data center. The Tier 4 data center speaks of the unparalleled level of performance of any data center. And Cloud Exchange has deemed it fit, looking at the fact that, it is the next direction for the African continent and also for businesses, especially businesses that need to be reachable across the world. And by this, we've made a decision to not just get a design of a Tier 4 data center, but also then do a construction of it. Nigeria and the whole of Africa, as you know, is on the path to cloud success. A lot of businesses are beginning to consider the need, to move away from the historical infrastructure costs that we used to park and put on the balance sheet, and now go to the route of ensuring that, as you earn, you pay, which makes, your operating costs more important to you than the capital cost that you are incurring. So why did we further then choose to pick Tier 4, ahead of Tier 3, Tier 2? Because all around you, you would have heard of 1, 2, or more, data centers. First is the fact that the choice of Tier 4 data center aligns with our strategy as an organization. Cloud Exchange is an organization that is on a strategic move towards ensuring that Africa is on the path to information technology transformation, a development that is also in line with the global growth. And because we are out there, to be an innovative company that leads the pack when it comes to, development in both technology infrastructure as well as technology development, we have chosen to give the best and the highest when it comes to data center to this continent. Again, for us, Africa as well as Africa, and more importantly, West Africa is turning out to be a major hub when you look at it from the perspective of e-commerce. And this further speaks to the need for us to ensure that there is high level of reliability for businesses in this region. And in order for you to have this level of reliability, in order for you to have this level of security that the internationals and the multinationals that are partnering with us in this region will require of us, the minimum that we believe is the benchmark to be provided to this market is a Tier 4 data center. Further, our history from what we've been able to demonstrate in the industry, coming from a systems integration background, where I believe that a lot of our clients here present, both in the public and the private sector, will attest to the fact that we've built countless number of data centers for clients across Nigeria. And as a company, we actually pride ourselves as a company that has built the highest number of data centers for clients in Nigeria. We've developed these, technical competence. We've developed these human capacity and development in the business. And we believe that bringing a Tier 4 data center at the back of these competencies that we've developed is also a way of then demonstrating and then showing our authority in this space. And it will further then help us to ensure that we help you better manage your businesses. The Tier 4 data center is the technology of today and also the foreseeable future. Technology changes from time to time. But Tier 4 is going to stay with us for quite a while because it will take something extra for you to say that you want to write off or you want to put additional level of requirement on what you have right now. There are so many information out there that will actually come to you and let you know that for you to have achieved a Tier 4 level in terms of either development, construction, or even operations, it means that you are even ready for the technology of the next decade. And this is what we have in Cloud Exchange. The final thing that we put in place and that we considered as at when we made the decision around the Tier 4 data center was because we've had an extensive review, an extensive check, both from the financial and also from the operational point of view. And we've, been able to conclude that there are actually a lot that are wrong in terms of assumptions out there telling you that, there is no need for you to have a Tier 4. But the Tier 4 that we have, and based on what we've experienced, actually shows that it is far more cost effective for you to build a Tier 4 as of today, not only because of the level of automation that you have in it, but also in terms of the reliability that comes from it. And then the way the Tier 4 data center runs is such that the cost of, then maintaining, the cost of replacement of parts that you tend to have in multiple folds in lower tiered data centers are already taken care of at the point of the design of this data center. So why did we choose Huawei, as a partner to develop this data center? We cooperated with Huawei because of so many reasons, and simply because Huawei came out on top. Like Glad mentioned at the beginning of choosing who the partner would be when we wanted to, develop the data center. There were so many OEMs that were visited across Europe, Asia, and so on. And there are these key factors that actually distinguished Huawei. and I'll talk to some of them, just briefly. For us, having African content in whatever we do is very, very important for us. And so when we were considering the OEMs to partner with, one of the key criteria that we put in place was that it has to be an OEM with presence in Africa. And as of today, you will all believe with me that Huawei has, that edge, that significant presence across Africa. And there are facts to support this, from having over 7.2 billion investment, over 7.2 billion worth of, contracts and then agreements across Africa, to having built about 70% of the 4G networks that we have. And then just between Ghana and Nigeria, Huawei has over 233, partnerships with, other OEMs, other clients, and then even other partners of ours and people that are running businesses in this region. Again, we were so considerate. We were so concerned about, the capex, the cost of the development and then the implementation itself, that, it was central for us at the point of making the decision. And because Huawei is a company that has invested so much in research and development, and Huawei has always prided itself as having hedge when it comes to competitive pricing, it was obvious for us at the point of negotiations with a couple of the manufacturers that we contacted then. And I'm saying to you that that 30% edge that Huawei boasts of was clear to us when the pricing, came to the table. Some other things that, we've been able to benefit from the association and the choice of Huawei as the OEM that we partnered with in developing this Tier 4 data center is the fact that not just that Huawei has a significant presence in Africa, but also in terms of operational support, having technical, people around that able to support you both remotely and also within the business environment should you have, any problems that are related to the OEMs. We also have this as being ticked at a significant level for Huawei. Huawei has demonstrated huge technical competence. Again, we've had instances of making modifications to the design of the data center, and at every point in time that we've had to do this, either as a result of space constraints or also as a result of changes in policies or demands from the government that needs to be put in place, Huawei has been able to rise up to the occasion, and they've been able to ensure that they meet the requirements that we've posed to them. The completion timeline was where majority of the manufacturers that we had met as at that time had failed. We wanted a scalable solution that will be in line with the amount of money that we had as at then. And Huawei was able to give us a solution that allows us to not just have an asset that is filling the whole place and then no one is actually in it. So the solution that we have as of today is a scalable data center that will ensure that as we grow with our client, the data center size also grow without any impact on the operations of the data center. And there are also then some factors when it comes to the performance of the data center that as at the time the submissions were made to Uptime, even Uptime had flagged those ratios and performance levels as what needs to be tested and then be confirmed. And the pre-commissioning testing that we've done, as well as the assessment of the performance of the data center since we completed the development, has shown an absolutely 100% compliance based on all the factors that Huawei had put pen to paper as at when we were signing the contract. So it is indeed a profitable partnership, and it is one that we intend to also then keep for as long as the phases of this project are ongoing. So thank you, and do have a wonderful day at this event.
Please, let's put our hands together for Mr. Olayemi Anifuwoshe, the Deputy Managing Director of Cloud Exchange. Thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing all those insights, as well as the choice of partnership and cooperation with Huawei Technologies. Right, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're still going to continue in this historic launch of the Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 Prefab Data Center. And would like to take the next speaker, right? The next speaker is going to be talking about the Cloud Exchange DC end users, considering the data center requirement based on service requirements. And we have someone that is very viable in doing that has wealth of experience, and is going to be sharing with us from the customer perspective, who has actually been also partnering and working with Cloud Exchange for a very long time. May I have the honor, please join me as we put our hands together upstage to invite upstage Mr. Remy Adejimo, the CEO of Cloud Flex. A round of applause as he comes, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Standing on all existing protocols, I'd like to, first of all, congratulate GLAD and the Cloud Exchange team for this landmark occasion and what they have achieved. I think we do not appreciate it as much as what I think has happened in terms of having a Tier 4 data center launched here in Lagos and launched in Nigeria. My name is Remy Adejimo. I'm the MD of CloudFlex. We are a local cloud company. What that is that we've built a number of cloud platforms. One of them is in Cloud Exchange. We have two that we've built here in Lagos, and we are planning to build a third one this year. So what we're doing is we're providing local cloud as you would have it with Azure or AWS here in Nigeria. I think in part of my talk, we'll see the benefits of that and what it can do for business in Nigeria. So I just want to put this in a world context. When we talk of cloud computing, the three biggest cloud computing providers that come to mind are AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. AWS has 40% of the market, Azure has 17%, Google has about 9%, and the rest is shared amongst the other players, people like Oracle, IBM, Salesforce, and so on. And if you look at the numbers, the total cloud revenue in the world in 2020 was $270 billion. It's estimated that and it's estimated that it's going to go to 374 billion in this year, 2021. And this is if you look at it, what has happened is that pre-COVID, a lot of companies were looking at moving their workloads and everything away from their local data centers into the cloud, simply because there's a huge cost save. I mean, there's a total cost of ownership saving of 70%. And a lot of companies felt that rather than build things in-house, let's move it out. Now, what happened last year with COVID and the worldwide lockdown was that a lot of people were working from home. And that really brought it home to them to say, look, what's the point of building and having all these things in their offices that weren't being used? So when you look across the world, a lot of companies and businesses didn't go to their offices. And even this year, with the easing of the lockdown, it's become a policy that they would only work a couple of days a week in the locations. In some cases, they're not even going back to the office for this year and for the foreseeable future. If we now move across and say, look at the Nigerian picture, we had the same thing. Companies were not able to get to their offices. I don't think people are aware of what we have and the fact that you can move your workloads into data centers. And that's why I describe Nigeria as being behind the curve. Because what you find is that nearly 80% of businesses in the developed environment have moved into data centers, into a public data center rather than having to buy physical equipment and own the equipment themselves or build data centers themselves. So what is the benefit for us in Nigeria? The benefit is the fact that the data centers and cloud platform complements the hyperscalers. What I mean by that is that we talk about AWS, we talk about Azure, we talk of all the people abroad. Now, they have very sophisticated and a lot of granularity in terms of what they provide. But from a data point of view, from the advantages we have in Nigeria, there is still a lot that can be done within the local data centers. So your workloads being in Nigeria, just like Glad mentioned, and being in Ikoyi's CBDs, that the proximity to your data. The second thing is that there's a different culture and needs in Nigeria than what you have in terms of the hyperscalers, as I call them. The hyperscalers have a one-size-fits-all, and what they're providing does not necessarily meet the needs of Nigeria, does not necessarily meet the needs of our working environment and what we do. So by putting your data on a cloud platform within Nigeria means that you meet the needs and you have companies that are Nigeria-centric or Africa-centric as opposed to having something that is world-centric. The other thing is that you have the latency, you have a better latency in terms of being in a data center in Nigeria. You have the cost. If you look at it, the costs, especially with the exchange rate, has gone up over 100% over the last 2 years. If you were paying for your data center in Nigeria as opposed to paying outside of Nigeria, you wouldn't be considering paying in dollars and all that. Your expenses would be in Naira. There's also the consideration that when you sit out on a hyperscaler, what happens there is that they charge you for taking your data off the platform. The way Nigerian connectivity is set up, we don't do that. So there's a cost saving there when you compare it head to head. But I always say that there's a complement, and the complement is if you have customers sitting in Europe or sitting in Asia, by connecting to those data centers out there, you can leverage on the facilities or on the technologies they have to be closer to your customer. But it doesn't stop you having your core in Nigeria and in a Nigerian data center. And I'll talk more about that. Also, just to give you some of the statistics, I didn't write them down here. Africa Cloud is estimated to be about $1.7 billion. The three major areas for cloud computing or for data centers in Africa is South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria. And I estimate that Nigeria's share of that is about $450 million. And if you think of that $450 million, 95% of that is spent outside Nigeria. And I think you can imagine what that amount of money would do to the development of Nigeria from a technology standpoint. I think just like one of the points that Glad made in terms of the Cloud Exchange Training School is that you would have a lot more people trained within Nigeria. So you would actually develop the skills here. You would have more technological development here. And you'd have a much more advanced system or advanced environment in Nigeria if a lot more of that money was spent within these shores. So as I've mentioned before, I believe that Nigeria is behind the curve. We don't have enough. I think we are about 5 local cloud providers. I would love to see a lot more. I'd love to see at least 20 of them. But I can see that coming up, and I can see that there are things in the works to make sure that there are more local cloud providers here. There are less than 10 tiered data centers here it's worth seeing a lot more, because I believe the development would generate a lot more data centers and a lot more business. And as Glad has mentioned, if even Cloud Exchange's plans alone of having 3 in Nigeria will contribute to that and to the development here. So we have misconceptions here in Nigeria about cloud computing. As I said, Nigeria is behind the curve. And the reason they're behind the curve is these misconceptions. The first one is that they believe that the cloud is not secure. Cloud computing is far more secure than your in-house data center, more than what you could do within your own premises. The other thing is, I wrote an article which was published on Twitter where I mentioned this fact that $450 million was what is being spent in cloud computing from the Nigerian perspective. And I got quite a lot of comments and some adverse. I think somebody said there that Mr. Adejimo knows nothing about cloud computing. But what was interesting with regards to power is that they said, where we have an epileptic power environment, how can Nigeria have data centers? So they actually believe that we don't have data centers in Nigeria. So I hope that this information gets out, both in terms of what we have in terms of data centers and the fact that we've got Cloud Exchange Tier 4 data center, and the fact that we've got Viatan providing green power, and the fact that we're able to give just as good as anywhere else in the world these facilities in terms of power, in terms of data center, in terms of hosting the workloads. And I hope that will sort of educate those who came up with those comments, believing that we don't have that in Nigeria. I mean, and more importantly, there's that belief that nothing works in Nigeria. So I would say to you that what we have in terms of the Cloud Exchange data center is as good as what you have anywhere else in the world. What is done by Uptime Institute is not a measure to say, oh, well, for Nigeria, it's okay. We're measured by the same level, the same standard as any data center anywhere else in the world. So whether you're in the US, whether you're in Europe, or whether you're in Asia, the data center that you have and that we're talking about today is as good, if not better, than what you have in any of these places. And please don't be fooled by it to believe that we are not able to develop and put something of this magnitude or of this quality in Nigeria just as much as what you have in the world. That's what I said about the build. And my last comment to say Tier 3 is Tier 3. Tier 3 in Nigeria is Tier 3 in US, is Tier 3 in Europe. As you say, a Tier 4 data center in Nigeria is the same as a Tier 4 data center in Europe or in America. So I would, again, use this opportunity to congratulate Glad and the team for putting this together. And I know it has not been an easy journey, but it's something that we should celebrate as Nigerians. I celebrate this as my own. I don't just celebrate this as a customer or as a partner. I celebrate as my own that Nigeria is able to put this together and we can have a Tier 4 data center in Nigeria of international standards. Just like what's mentioned here, Africa's first Tier 4, a prefab data center, first data center in Ikoyi, first Uptime Tier 4 data center in Africa. A big congratulations to the team. I think this is an incredible achievement. And I'd like everyone to just give a round of applause for this, because this is not a small feat. I think many times we as Nigeria are in the news for things that are not to celebrate us or to mention the landmark. So I think something like this is incredible, and I hope that this will be reported and this will be said of the significance of what is being achieved here today. I mean, I put a slide together to say regional powerhouse. What I'm trying to say here is that Nigeria should be the regional powerhouse. Nigeria should be where a lot of these technology advancements and the advancement should be for West Africa and for this region and for Middle Africa. If you look at it, we have more resources than our neighbors and all that. If you look at the numbers, I used to head infrastructure for EcoBank Nigeria. And I used to remember that when you look at, I used to use ATMs as just a measure of the size of what we have in Nigeria. Nigeria, EcoBank Nigeria had, at the time I was working for them, they had about 1,400 ATMs. Ghana only had 200. Ivory Coast only had 50. I know that it's not everything they have in those countries, but it's telling and significant of the sheer size of Nigeria in comparison to the other countries. So I do see that what we have here, and I mean, I didn't know that part of the vision of Cloud Exchange was to build in Ivory Coast. But as I was putting this together, I thought to myself, why could Cloud Exchange not be the data center that's providing services for the West African region, including the Francophone countries, especially Ivory Coast? And in listening to Glad, that is in their plans. And I think this will happen sooner rather than later. And I think as we push along with this technology advancement, I think we see us that we will be the regional powerhouse, and we will be the point that other countries will depend on and will take services from. So I mentioned future outlooks, and this is just talking about areas that need a data center or need such services. If you look, Nollywood is the third largest film industry in the world, but yet there's no local repository for Nigerian films in Nigeria. So if you look at it and look at the advancement of the cinemas and the number of cinemas that we have, when you, the way the cinemas are operating today, the films are moved around in portable hard drives. There's no reason why they can't be moved around through the connectivity that we have existing. You look in terms of music, Nigerian music is quite prominent. We have had several Grammy Award winners, and we continue to have the Grammy Award winners. I was just looking up some information just now. You know, in terms of music, you look at, we have no local repository. So Spotify, Apple Music, Boomplay, none of them have a repository in Nigeria. And I'm talking of things that could sit in the Cloud Exchange data center. And if you look at the turnover, Spotify is, they had a revenue of over $10 billion. Apple Music had a revenue of over $4 billion. And you look at Netflix, Netflix has a worldwide revenue of $25 billion. Just look at those numbers and you see the potential of what you could have in Nigeria. The music we have, the films we have in Nigeria, and also in terms of, I mean, the other sort of big players are the credit bureaus, which keep a large amount of data. And you have people going into artificial intelligence, machine learning, and Internet of Things. And the data that's required for these things differ from region to region. So the data that's been accumulated, I mean, some things you can take what is being used abroad and use it in Nigeria, but you can't take the AI data or the machine learning or Internet of Things data from these countries and utilize them in Nigeria, because what you need is local data to see the trends of how things work here and how it can adapt into this country. So we need to have large repositories. We need to have petabytes of data in, and for those kind of data, it's not owned by individual enterprises or individual companies or individuals. It's something that is shared and kept in a data center. So I see that there's so much opportunities for us here in Nigeria to house and to have such data stored and made available so that we can keep up with the technology and the things that are being done around the world and also being done here. So this is an interesting thing that I came across, and this is something I read when I was reading the book about Edward Snowden and when he revealed what the NSA were doing. This is just talking from a data point. And what was mentioned was how, I mean, we've always talked about it, and people talk about the 6 degrees of separation. I've personally said, as Nigerians, we have 3 degrees of separation, because if you come across a Nigerian anywhere in the world, by the time you look at 2 or 3 people they know, you see a connection between you and that person. And this was something that was done within, with Kevin Bacon. And what they did was that they tried to do that. They found out that of the 2.7 million of Hollywood actors and actresses, he was connected to every single one of them by 3 degrees of separation. And what they found was that the NSA claimed that they were storing data just to 3 degrees of separation of people, but that literally covered the whole of America. America has a population of 350 million. And what they said was that they had data stored of all the phone calls of literally everybody in America. And I was just trying to use this to illustrate the volume of data and the amount of data that is being collected today, and the potential of what you could find in data centers or what could be used. So again, I see, if you look at it, Nigeria is a population of nearly 200 million. We're the 7th largest country in the world, and according to the growth of our population, I think they said by 2050 we're going to be the 3rd or 4th largest country in the world. So you can imagine the potential of the country, and I think that's one of the reasons that Google and Facebook are running their own subsea cable fiber into Nigeria. So I think Google's cable is meant to land this year, and Facebook's cable is coming in 2 years' time. And I think such investment wouldn't be coming in here if there wasn't a significance to this country and what's possible from us. The other thing is just to talk a little bit about the regulation, and which is quite important, because when this is spoken about, people see it as protectionism or as an adverse thing. But I'm just looking at this from a positive slant and from what's possible. Now, if you look at the laws that they had, you start with the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act came just after the 9/11. And the reason behind that was, as the word, what Patriot stands for, was providing appropriate tools to intercept and obstruct terrorism. Basically, that was from a data standpoint. And at the time that came out, there was not much in terms of cloud computing. So, in the advent of cloud computing, there was a huge case that went all the way to the Supreme Court between the American government and Microsoft. And this was to do with Microsoft data sitting in Ireland and the fact that the American government wanted the data and Microsoft was resisting it. So when they brought out the Cloud Act in 2018, Microsoft dropped its case. And basically what that is saying, and Cloud Act stands for Clarifying Lawful Overseas Use of Data Act, basically that the American government has the ability to take data from a cloud platform anywhere in the world as long as it's an American company that owns that. Now, I think in the same, just at that time, around then was a lot of talk about the GDPR and the private data. So you find that what the Europeans have done with the GDPR is that their data is going against what the Americans want to do, in terms of the fact that the Americans say we can take data without your permission. GDPR says you can't touch the data without the permission of the owner of the data. And Nigeria brought out the NDPR, which is basically the same as the GDPR, but the only thing missing from our regulation is that we don't have a law to back it up. So we're not defending that, and we're not holding up to that. So if you transgress the Nigerian NDPR, there's no law and there's no regulation to enforce that. And that moves into the data sovereignty and data residency and data localization. The most important of it is data localization, is the fact that the data that is created in an environment is maintained in an environment. If you remember what I mentioned, that 95% of our data is sitting outside Nigeria. What it means from a regulation point of view is that all the regulators are powerless to control what happens to that data that sits out of Nigeria. So it's quite an important thing to note that there should be regulation in Nigeria to keep the data in Nigeria, not for any protectionism reason, but so that the laws in Nigeria covers the data that is being generated in Nigeria. And that way, it's an advantage for us, the providers of a platform for the data, but it's also an advantage for the companies that there is no conflict and there's no danger that they can lose their data, or their data can be taken away from them without their permission. So that's just an important aspect to know, and I think that's something that we look forward to, and there's advocacy along those lines to try and make the authorities aware of this so that they can do that, and the point of doing that would contribute to the growth of the data residing in Nigeria and the housing of that data in Nigeria, because I think that's one of the ways to bring back a portion of that $450 million that is now going out of the country every year rather than coming in. Thank you for listening.
Please, let's put our hands together for Mr. Remi Adejumo for doing that expository insight. You will agree with me that there is no one else that could do that. He's speaking from various perspectives. And I'm sure we've had one or two things to also get from that. And to me, I think it's quite significant at this time, because a lot of people have believed that, you know, good things don't come out of this country. But tell me, a lot of things are happening in Nigeria and we need to showcase it. And one of the things we're doing to showcase this as well, like I mentioned earlier, is we're fully online on YouTube. So if you could search on the YouTube for launch of the first tier 4 data center, first tier 4 data center, you could search with that name, you'll be able to get it. And then we can spread that news out. We can spread the news out. We can share it out to people globally to join and, you know, be part of this historic event, because this is about to bring forth and change the image perception of this country. And it's also helping us sitting in the room as solution providers to also make sure that we are able to identify various opportunities and bring the data repository back into the country. Thanks, Mr. Remi, for that. All right, so while all these are going on, I would also like to give update on the client list. And please, as I call the client, please, if you're representing any of these organizations, would appreciate if you could wave your hands so we're able to identify you as we proceed. So I have from Access Bank PLC. Do we have anyone from Access Bank? Please wave your hands if you are from Access Bank. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Please, a round of applause for him. We also have from Tax Systems, the CEO of Tax Systems, Mr. Stanley. I can see him. Thank you for coming, sir. We also have from African SME. If you are from African SME, just wave your hands. We also have from Zitra Investment. Zitra Investment, okay? Thank you very much for coming. We also have from Crown Crystal. And then we have from Max FM. Okay, so we'll continue in this, but it's also good for me to announce, importantly, we don't want to just launch the event, right? We've also packaged something very, very significant as part of the agenda for today. So I'm sure we all have the agenda, and we can see towards the end, there is a lucky dip, there's a lucky draw. We're going to be giving out some items to lucky winners. So please make sure that you stay with us till the end. We'll try not to waste too much of your time, but I can guarantee you it's going to be an awesome time, as many of us that will be part of it would have lucky people going away with something nice at the end of the day. All right, so without wasting too much time, we also have one of our invited guests that will be sharing with us on Nigeria's increasing infrastructure reliability requirement and industry requirement as well. And no one else can handle that. Please, let's put our hands together as we welcome Mr. Habib Alebioshu, the CEO of Viathan. A round of applause, please. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. To the Cloud Exchange team, congratulations. This is truly a feat. I'm truly proud to have been associated with this project, from being part of the construction phase and fortunately also, should I say, supporting the team with rolling out the requisite solution to ensure you have your 2N reliability and have green and clean solutions. So again, congratulations, and we're truly proud and excited that we're part of this project. Sorry. So All right, so I had material to share with everyone here today, but of course it's not on the screen yet. Effectively, what we do here, I mean, I'm here as Viathan, and one of the things I'd like to speak to is what we've done with Cloud Exchange, what we're doing generally, and how that effectively improves, call it reliability of, and connectivity of solutions such as what Cloud Exchange has done. So we effectively are an integrated energy solutions company, and for the last 9 to 10 years, we've spent a significant amount of time figuring out how to develop a business model that has us working very closely with the distribution companies and reliably providing electricity to the commercial, industrial, and also residential segment of the Nigerian market. Truly, we believe that irrespective of the conditions or the local operating conditions, we believe strongly that there is a way to sort of sidestep most of the challenges around power. So to what Mr. Adejumo said, power poses the biggest challenge for most of what we have as the challenges today in Nigeria. We strongly believe that build the infrastructure, make the requisite investment, and eventually it would all come together. We're a very young team with significant accomplishments and achievements. What we've done with the Cloud Exchange team, along with Lagos State, is we have combined today built an infrastructure, or should I say, different power plants and gas assets in 2 different states with a combined installed capacity of about 40 megawatts. And what that effectively means is that with our distribution network of about 160 kilometers combined, 100 kilometers of that being in Lagos State, and the support of the distribution companies and the partnership with Cloud Exchange, we're able to ensure that Cloud Exchange benefits from an environmentally clean solution, which is gas-fired power plants as the IPP, providing 98% of the power supply, as Glad mentioned. And to that extent, you know, that's 46 to 47% in greenhouse gas emission reduction, significant cost savings, eliminating noise pollution, which is equally key. And if you know what most of the conversations and discussions have been at the federal level, particularly speaking to the nationally determined contribution around effectively Nigeria's policy towards emission reduction, you would know that by 2030, all diesel and gasoline-fired generators are to be eliminated. And what that means is that Cloud Exchange has taken a leap of faith in Viathan, and they've also taken a lead beyond building the first prefab data center, that's Tier 4. They've equally leveraged some of this policy tailwind and jumped on and hopped on this solution. So we're truly, again, proud of this accomplishment. And to that point, like I said, you know, we're able to support them along with the discos in providing about 98% of the power. So far, I mean, in terms of what we do locally with Lagos State, predominantly and Ogun State government, we power most of the water utilities. We power schools, street lights, the tolls, and many other sort of, I mean, DNA centers, critical, should I say, facilities that are, should I say, inherent to livelihood. And that said, you know, to sort of throw out some numbers in terms of the hospitals, we power about 11 of them, and patients' footfall that we have is about 1.1 million. For the vehicles that traverse some of the routes that we provide electricity for, it's about 4.3 million vehicles on a daily basis. And in terms of the water, I'm reliably told that about 6.5 million homes benefit from the waterworks that we power. And again, without further ado, the reality is we are indeed very proud to be part of this occasion. It's crucial that ICT companies, telcos, hub sites realize that there are solutions that help the country transition from, call it, the diesel-fired solutions that we all rely on today to much cleaner solutions. It's better for us all. It, I mean, gives us a cleaner environment, and generally speaking, we're proud again to have been part of the Cloud Exchange story. It's been a long road. So to the Synergy team who saw this opportunity and who believed in the Cloud Exchange dream, well done to you guys. You've done a great job. I know it's been a long road and a very difficult one at that. And to the Cloud Exchange team again, well done, Glad, and well done, Yemi, Congratulations to you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause for Mr. Habib Alebioshu for sharing that insight. Thank you very much, sir. All right, just in about 10, 15, 20 minutes, we would have a panel discussion. And this panel discussion, it's going to involve specialists, and we'll just have one or two questions for them to share with us their insights and their ideas on one or two, three topics. And then after that, we do the first section of the lucky draw, and then we do lunch. And after lunch, we'd come back, we do the remaining session of the lucky dip. And also there is a plan to physically, for those who haven't been to the live data center, prefab data center, we have a plan to transport everyone that is interested to the location in Ikoyi. So you don't have to drive your car, right? You could leave your car here. There's a transportation means that have been organized. You can feel free to use the transportation means to Ikoyi, and we can guarantee you the bus or the transportation will get you back to come and drive your car, you know, because there's also a showcase, launch, certificate award, and all that. There will be a signing ceremony that would happen at that time. So just rolling out the remaining part of the program. Okay, so we'll be doing the panel discussion briefly, and I have about 3 people who are experts, well experienced, that will be part of the panel discussion, and they'll be sharing ideas with us on some key specific topics, and they'll also make contribution about it appropriately. Okay. So while we're setting up the stage, I'm also trying to get more information about the modality of the lucky dip, but I've been permitted to announce the items that will be given out. So we have okay, wow, a whole lot of 22 items that will be given out during the lucky dip. The first category would give out 15 pieces of Huawei Band 6. Band 6 is one of the wearables that's quite fantastic from Huawei. It's a recently launched product. And then we also have a pad, a tablet, MediaPad T10, and which is 5 pieces. And then the major one is one of the latest high-end smartphones, P30 Pro. Would also be giving out 2 of that. So please don't be in a rush to go. Let's stay tuned. Let's be part of this event, and let's see who are the lucky winners. All right. Okay, so we go straight to the panel discussion. I would like to invite up stage the discussants who will be handling. And permit me to welcome up stage again the CEO of CloudFlex, Mr. Remi Adejumo, to please come up stage and have your seat. A round of applause for him as it comes. And next to that, I would also like to invite the Huawei Sales Director, Mr. Victor Oyenibi. A round of applause, please, as he comes and joins the seat. And then I also have Mr. Adetoyeshe Oyerinde, the Cloud Exchange Head of Data Center and Operations. A round of applause for him, please, as he comes off stage. He's actually the main man behind that edifice that we're launching today. Please, I'll need to have an extra mic for the discussants. Can I have an extra mic for them? We're going to do this in about 10 to 15, 20 minutes. So we would appreciate if our discussants can please help us to, you know, be speed up, maybe about 2-3 minutes in each of the topics, and then we can wrap up so that we can also get into the other items, the other part of the agenda. All right. Okay, so we'll start with the first thought process. Right. So the first thought process is, what are the pain points and driving forces for data center construction in Nigeria. I won't start with you, Toye, so don't look at me. I won't start with you, Victor, so don't look at me. I'll start with Mr. Remy. I know he's shared a lot, but he can also look at it from the perspective of his role, you know, having been a strategic, having led a strategic role at EcoBank, then, you know, being a businessman and also running a partner with Cloud Exchange at the moment. So, Mr. Remy, please, what are the main points, the pain points and driving forces for data center construction in Nigeria? What do you think?
I think my expertise is more the cloud than the actual data center. So I think I'll look at it from the cloud perspective. When I started to build the cloud platform in 2016, and the key components was, first of all, to find a hardware partner for that, because one of the key things is that we are a country and an environment that are price sensitive. So the key thing was to have hardware that would allow you to deliver the sort of pricing that you could match what you find from the hyperscalers. It's important to mention that 25% of the cost of the data center is power. So you can imagine that 1/4 of the cost of it is power. So related to what the MD of Viton just mentioned and what Glad has mentioned there, it's important to have that in mind. So that's one of the biggest challenges at that point. So what I didn't mention, and I should mention here, is that we also partner Huawei. So all our equipment are Huawei. Everything we use, our switches, our cloud platform, and all that is all Huawei. And I would like to say that they were a great partner in terms of what we were doing, in terms of the technical support, and in terms of the investment that they've made in here to support us and help to put that together. Then one of the biggest challenges was that when we were building, we chose VMware as the hypervisor layer to build. And when I started this in 2016, I found that the skill was not available here locally. So that was one of the biggest challenges in there. So when you look at what's been done with the Cloud Exchange Training School and what efforts have been made to empower and train technology people in Nigeria, that's one of the biggest gaps. And that still exists as a gap. So we had to do that ourselves, because some of the technologies that we used on the platform is not sold to end users. It's sold to service providers. And as we were one of the first service providers in Nigeria of VMware, that skill didn't exist. So we had to pioneer that skill and then try and train that skill, because you wouldn't find that working in any company that's using VMware as a product, because they're using it as a customer. They were not using it as a service provider.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Mr. Remy. Okay, Victor.
Well, coming from a system integrator background and now an OEM Huawei, from our interaction with some of our customers, some of the pain points in building data center centers around government regulations, government permits to allow you build your environment. And that one is also the expertise. We're bold to say Huawei is one of the biggest spenders when it comes to R&D, with about 96,000 staffs solely dedicated to research and development. So when it comes to technology and advancement, which is a very pain point in this part of the world, so I'll say that is one of the part of the pain points in having to build very good data centers in this part of the world.
Okay, great. Thank you, Victor. Toye.
All right, thanks, Remy and Victor. So ultimately, what everyone is trying to achieve is customer satisfaction. And so if you start to take that a little bit backwards, then you start to see availability, reliability, sustenance, and operational efficiency. So as you look at it, you start to see infrastructure migrating into facility migrating into cloud, like Remy said. So then for you to be able to tackle those points, then you then need to grow from getting power, not just power, adequate and reliable power, but not forgetting space, because the only thing that you can actually grow out of in the data center space is that space itself. So in the beginning, it was about making sure your system was online. Then you went to making sure your system was efficient. Then you went to making sure your system was reliable. So now we're talking about efficient data center, reliable data center. So we have to think, okay, if you're going to have a data center today, what is actually the pain point? And that's the essence of a 99.995% availability in the data center. So taking care of availability, and as you go, then we now start seeing a data center that is full of green, which is also a data center that Cloud Exchange has built today.
Okay, thank you very much. A round of applause for our discussants. I think they've touched on something very, very, very important. And they've not just also talked about the pain points, but also what are the things or the solutions that have been brought forward. And it's quite exciting to see that today we have a partnership that has been able to actually provide some of the solutions, you know, just like they've been identified in looking at the pain points. And one of the things that excites me most is the area of the capacity gap and what had been done by Cloud Exchange when it comes to the technical school to partner and ensure that you have enough human capacity to be able to ensure that you can take care of technology and maybe make it very seamless when it comes to the O&M. So that's one thing that this partnership has been able to pull forward. And I mean, I've been part of that in a number of years, and I can see that the people that have gone through that today are able to perform in any environment where they find themselves. So it's good. It's also increasing, you know, the level of technical capacity we have in Nigeria, and it's also helping us to have more people gain on that. Okay, thank you guys. All right, so one of the other things also, I know the Commissioner for Energy talked a little bit about that, but we also need to take a good consideration. The challenge of energy, power, grid power, it's not very, very consistent, you know, but when you look at it, it's a key factor when it comes to data center. So how do we ensure the reliability of end users when it comes to looking at them partnering with a data center provider with respect to co-location, data center, either infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and so on and so forth? When you look at the requirement of grid, power grid, and the challenges we have in Nigeria, how do we ensure we give a reliability, we overcome the challenge of reliability to customers? Because that's one thing that is very important. It looks like Mr. Emi said, I mean, sometimes the cost of power would almost, you know, overshoot the cost of setting up a data center. So Victor, you like take that first, please? Go ahead.
There's no gainsaying again that we know that the grid energy is not very clean, and the best form of clean energy it's the solar energy. And at Huawei, we know all these challenges are there, and what we are doing is we have the digital power energy that is dedicated to saddle this responsibility of providing green energy through solar panels to power data centers, residencies, hospitals, and the likes. So the cleanest form of energy you can ever have is the energy from the sunlight, which is zero carbon emission. And we believe that with the right partnership with Huawei, we are able to provide green energy for this data center outfits. And that in turn will lay the fears of every partner that wants to go with Cloud Exchange as regards to clean power from the grid.
Thanks, Victor. Mr. Remy, you want to share more?
As I mentioned before, like I said, I had a lot of negative comments on Twitter when I told them about the data centers in Nigeria. And these guys are, you know, they post a lot, but they didn't take the trouble to find out what is going on and what we have in terms of data centers here. The misconception is the fact that a data center is a concentrated location. So a data center is like a place that represents 1,000 or more households. So to provide power for that and in one location as opposed to the distribution is I want to say easier. So the data centers are able to provide that uninterrupted power and to sustain the data center and keep it going. So what you find here is that, for example, with Cloud Exchange, I think we've been in there for about, we've been running live because we have live customers on our cloud platform, and we've been on it for about 6 months, and we've had no interruptions on there. So I think that's one of the things, like I said, a tier 4 is a tier 4. So the same standard that you get with a data center sitting in the US is the same standard as you get with the data center sitting here. Because I'm quite aware of the rigors of certification by Uptime, and it is incredibly detailed and very strict in terms of the expectation and in terms of what they want, which Cloud Exchange has met, which I believe means that they can give us power just as good as any other data center anywhere in the world. So that's basically what it's all about, and it's not the same as providing power in your house. So it's not the same service as what you get with an EKDC or an Ikeja Disco. And that's not putting them down, but it's more to talk about what, because people don't understand what the 2N is all about. And it's all about having 2 different sources and a third one behind the 2 different sources at every level of your service provision, which is not just the power, also your cooling, your network interface and everything. So generally, to deliver service, you've got redundancy and redundancy behind redundancy to provide that, and that's available in there. And that's what the tier 4 is giving you.
Great.
All right, just to add some lines to it. So it's about 3 things. It's about the product, it's about the people, and it's about the operations. So for the product, Cloud Exchange has built this edifice. Yeah, like Remy just said, 99.995 in the US is 99.995 in Nigeria. Most of the time, those percentage throws off, they throw us off the track. So 99.995 is associated with tier 4, and 99.982 is associated with tier 3. They look close, but the available time, the downtime for a tier 3 is about 96 minutes, and the downtime for a tier 4 is about 26 minutes. So you have that between 70 and 60 minutes, and a lot can happen in those times. So what we've done is to make sure that everything that needs to be in place for that has been taken care of, and power is key to that. Today, we don't just have clean power on dual sources in Cloud Exchange. We also have clean power on the raw, which is the utility. We've been able to build that Viton gas plant into our facility, and we also have power from the grid, which with that switch, I can say, running from January on test and operational basis, we've been able to do 100% from January till now, and we've been able to do at least 98% of that on a green power. So it's possible, and the reliability is guaranteed at Cloud Exchange.
Thanks. A round of applause for our discussion, please. That's great. So it's important to note that we need to be rest assured we can have a reliable data center to secure the data, not just secure, to ensure that it runs and it's available as much as we want. Like Mr. Remy said, there's a redundance behind the redundancy. So the redundancy is as much level as is required. All right. Just very quickly, I'd like to announce the Lucky Dip process is via picking of business cards. I hope we all drop our business cards during registration. Did we? No? Okay. So I spoke with one of the guys in the team. We need to have a way to get people's names. So maybe we'll get one of the ushers to go around, and please, you could just put your name, right? Your name, your organization on a piece of paper and drop it in a box that would go around. Then we'll now call people to pick up, and then we'll be able to give out the items. So please, can I get someone coordinate the ushers for that? Let's have a box taken around where people can write their names, and then we'll pick from there. Okay. All right. And I think the Lucky Dip is only applicable to customers and clients. Exclusive. Not okay. So it's not involving Cloud Exchange team and Huawei team. Do I have your permission to announce that? Okay. So Cloud Exchange team, Huawei team will not be part of the Lucky Dip. This is only going to be for customers and partners. Thank you. All right. So one of the things that is also very significant, and I think we need to look at that appropriately, is the impact of digital economy policies. The impact of digital economy policies. It's very rare to have a leadership in a state that would create policies, would encourage a whole lot of innovation when it comes to IT, right? As what we see in Lagos State. Championing IT development is one thing that comes from the leadership and the state management. But when we look at the digital economy with Nigeria as a country, what exactly are the impacts of Nigeria's digital economy policies, and how does it affect the construction and development of data center? How does it affect the construction and development of data center industry in Nigeria? So I will let each of them speak, and I would also like anyone in the audience that want to make contribution either to the first topic that we discuss or the second or the third one. So you just, wave your hands if you have anything that you would like to contribute to that. Let me start with Toye this time.
All right. Well, thanks. In 2013, there were a lot of data centers in Nigeria, but there was just one tiered data center, was a tier 3 data center. And today in Nigeria, there are more than 7 tier 3 data centers, and there is this tier 4 data center. So you can see between 2013 and 2021 that gap. These are not $1 million facilities. These are multi-million-dollar facilities. So what has then changed is our processes, our inclination to media development, social media, and all of that. Today, you have Facebook Live sitting in Nigeria, you have YouTube Live sitting in Nigeria, and you have all of those, and you have the government supporting these media houses. So you have Netflix also sitting down in Nigeria. So when you actually are using each of these platforms, you're not interacting with the outside world, you're actually interacting with media platforms sitting down in Nigeria. And because the government policies is either supporting or one way or the other encouraging these platforms, today it is, and at the end of all of this, like Remy said, is data. At the end of data is actually storage. And at the end of storage is a facility, a data center, and infrastructure. So because of that rise in the amount of data, rise in the storage capacity that we have in Nigeria today, you've seen that overdevelopment of data centers within Nigeria, and especially Lagos. And this is also going to, one way or the other, affect West Africa as a whole.
Okay, Mr. Remy.
So I think the biggest hindrance to the development of data centers in Nigeria is regulation. And I think it's incredibly important, what I mentioned earlier about the data localization is there. To give you a case in point, CBN is the biggest regulator in the country. So to illustrate the example, all the banks have a presence on the hyperscalers rather than, i.e., their data sits outside the country. So what will happen is that imagine a situation where, and this has happened before and can happen again, where there's a mix-up of names and they suddenly see that a Remy Smith is a person of interest in America. America can instruct AWS or Azure or Google Cloud to shut down the data of Remy Smith or to shut down the bank that Remy Smith is using for that. Now, if the CBN says to the bank they should do something to the contrary, both the CBN and the bank are powerless in terms of the power being wielded by the American government and the cloud platform. So if you look at the, for each of them, so just to give more detail of that, CBN is regulating the banks, the finance companies, the microfinance, the fintech, the mortgage banks, the, name it, they regulate all of those. But if you go and look at their requirements for a license, they make no mention about where the data sits. And I think that's a huge omission. And when you think in terms of, and again, this is not a question of being adverse to them. Like I said, locating your data in Nigeria complements what happens abroad. It doesn't. It's not against it, and it's not a sort of attritional decision. But what you find is that more of the money will be spent within, and that money being spent within would allow for the expansion and growth of the data centers you have in Nigeria. So that's the key thing that's missing, and also it will take off the pressure from a foreign exchange point of view as to what is being spent in terms of data centers and in terms of some of the infrastructural costs that you have today and what some of the companies are doing. That's just a brief thing there, but that's really the crux of the matter in terms of what is being done today and what changes need to be done just to contribute to the market. I would say that we're about the only country post-COVID that we've not spent money on technology or on technology things to encourage the economy in there. As a government, there's no money being spent in there. And it's all sort of like companies like the venture capitalists and those other companies who have been paying money and supporting these businesses here in Nigeria.
Okay, good. Victor.
Yeah, I think I have a different toll to it. The Nigerian Communication and Digital Economy came up with a policy about 2 years ago. It's a 41-page policy that highlights the country's plan for digitization. And there are about 9 key points there. And at the background of those points are data that speaks to last year, 2020, the size of data center in Nigeria was about $80 million. And it's projected that in 2026, it will be about $216 million, if I'm correct. That's the size of the data center market in Nigeria. And in Africa, the growth is about 17%. But in Nigeria, we see a faster growth of about 24% in data center. I think what is missing is the implementation of these policies. You have policies around infrastructure, policies around soft skills, policies around information literacy. So I believe that the growth is there in the figures we've seen from the researchers, but it's just to implement all those research that and the policies that the economy and the digital team are put together. So it's a positive thing, and we'll see more growth. And again, to add, we'll see that the new technological banks are coming. In those days, it used to be Fugas, First Bank, and the likes. Right now, you have OPay, you have Floater Wave, you have other banks coming, and they're riding on this digital stuff in the country.
Not one. Yeah, that's one thing that it's also very significant, which is why it's important that as much as possible, as we're sitting in the room, as solution providers, as IT advisories, we need to embrace this innovation to ensure that as much as possible we can sensitize the environment, right? And make sure that people can be well aware. I mean, if you have an uptime that does not compromise the standard in certifying a data center in Nigeria, just the way it's done elsewhere, why not, right? Okay, do we have a contribution? Okay, so let me just step down a bit and pass the mic. Okay, so I'll take the mic round.
Thank you, Remy. Let me stand. I just don't want us to gloss through what Remy was mentioning, which is the fact that the CBN policies there is nothing in it that states clearly that the data must reside in Nigeria. And I think that's very key. And I think that being in the policy would go a long way in the growth of the data centers. Because what it then means is that the banks, who are, I think, the largest consumers of the data center services today, would then be forced to ensure that a data center like Cloud Exchange would be the ones hosting maybe customer data. I know for a fact today that a lot of the information and data that banks have is sitting on Azure. I know because I sell it. And the Azure data centers are not here. So it means the data is not in country. So the policies have to be stronger around data sovereignty. And I think that's what Remy was trying to mention. I think we should not gloss over that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Fortunately, I mean, we were expecting some people from Lagos State government to be in here so that we cannot be part of this idea. Do we have any other ones that would like to make a contribution again? Anybody else contribution, ideas, or thoughts to the topic that have been discussed, either the first one or the second one or the third one? Any other ideas or questions? Do we want to ask a question? Anybody want to ask a question that we can just quickly discuss and then we'll wrap up? Okay, so there is none. Please help me to give a warm thanks to these gentlemen. Please, you may please step down for the great job that they've done. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. So, just right about now, we would do lunch in a short while. But before we do that, let's just go through one of the categories of the Lucky Dip. So in this first category, we're going to have about 10 pieces of the Huawei Band 6 given out to lucky winners. The procedure is they're going to be, someone is going to come pick. Oh, did you give me the list again? Please, can I have the list? Thank you. The names and the numbers. Okay, so you drop it in that, drop it in there, right? We're going to improvise. All right. Okay, so in this category, we have about 10 Band 6. Correct? 10, right? 10 Band 6. 10 pieces of Band 6 that will be given away. And I'm going to invite our special guest to come and pick from a container, and then would announce the names or the winners that have been picked. Okay, so please let's put our hands together as we welcome Mr. Olayemi Anifowoshe to come and bear the cat in this category. Do I have him here? Please, a round of applause for him. A round of applause for him. He's gonna. Can I have these chairs removed? So you rather come in the middle because you're going to pick it and announce the names yourself. I'm just going to stand. Where's the second mic, please? Yeah, I'm just going to stand aside and let you do justice to that. So I don't know how you're going to do it. You have, so you can either, I can hold the mic for you. Do it anyhow you want, if you want, but just shake it and pick 5, then we'll announce. You will announce as you would announce. Thank you. Thank you. So I understand that some people wrote names or their names and company behind a Huawei card. So the Huawei card is not going to win the prize because this is exclusive for Huawei and Cloud Exchange team. Sorry about that, guys. So we have more. Okay, so please could you take to collect more? And those that have been picked, of course, they have gotten their prize. They are not part of the other category. Okay, Mr. Ayemi, please go ahead. From, from the first winner.
Thank you. So the first name here is Sheyi Fayemi, Sokatua Technologies.
Mr. Sheyi Fayemi, Sokatua Technologies, are you in the room? By the way, you must be in the room to win it. So do we have Mr. Sheyi Fayemi? So he's not here. Okay. So you can give me. Okay. So he's at the back. Yeah. So I'll just keep that.
The second name is Sunde Usidame. Congratulations, sir.
Please come. Okay. Mr. Tunde Usidame. Okay.
I also have here Carrot Muhammad. Carrot.
Do we have the winner? Oh, a round of applause. Carrot. Okay. Mohammed. Thank you. All right.
And then Lucky Esame.
Lucky Esame. Oh, a round of applause for him, please.
The fourth name is Soba Fubara.
Oh, wow. Do we have the winner? Then I think he needs to pick one more. He needs to pick one more. Sorry, what's the name, please? Kule. So he needs to pick one more so that we can balance it 5. Because he's supposed to pick 5 and then... So we pick the one more and then he would hand over...
The fifth is Ogunshola Ayola.
Ogunshola Ayola, wow. A round of applause for him, please. Okay, Vicky, could you please... Okay. You are going to present it, yes. Okay, so how are we going to... No, you can go down, don't worry, because there's no step for the stage. And when you look at the women coming to, you know, there's no step. So, Mr. Emi, please, you can present one by one. These are the winners. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Olayemi Anifowoshi. Round of applause for him, please, as it goes back. So let me also, we have an additional 5 that we need to go. And please permit me to invite the Deputy Managing Director of Huawei, Mr. Eric Yang, to please come and do justice as he picks the other 5 lucky winners in the category 1. In the category 1. So this is 5. So, yeah. So...
Another 5, right?
Another 5, yeah.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Okay, you have 5? Yeah. Okay.
How to pronounce?
Okay, Stanley. So let me help you to do the pronunciation.
It's difficult for me to pronounce.
All right. So we have the first winner, Mr. Stanley. Mr. Stanley. A round of applause for him, please. Then we also have Banke Shotomi. Am I right? Banke Shotomi. Oh, wow. A round of applause for her, please. Okay. And then I have Digifyemi. A round of applause for you. Okay. Then I also have Kabiru Mohammed. Kabiru Mohammed. Kabiru Mohammed. Kabiru Mohammed. Do we have Kabiru Mohammed in the house? Do we have Kabiru Mohammed in the house? Kabiru Mohammed Aliyu. Oh, wow. How did I miss that? Chief Mo. Okay, then I also have Richmond Ogigai. Richmond Ogigai. That's great. Congratulations to the 5 lucky winners. Please, okay. Mr. Eric, you can step down and let me have the mic so you can be able to present it. To the lucky winners, congratulations. So take this. Thank you. Ladies first. Congratulations to our lucky winners. And lastly, but not the least, congratulations. Okay, thank you, Mr. Eric. A round of applause for Mr. Eric, please. Okay, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I understand lunch is ready. I don't know how it's going to run. I've not been given the instruction of how it's going to run. But I think it's, so we have the service point at the back. And we also feel free to, so can I have the ushers direct how the lunch would go, how people could, go to the serving point and then get their meals, right? So we have ushers that will be able to direct that. So please, lunch is served, and then after lunch, we would come back and then we would wrap up for the remaining part, which, of course, the significant... Okay, so I understand the lunch is table by table, so the ushers will be at each table to coordinate that. And at the return of lunch, we would, I don't know if there's going to be a signing ceremony, then we'll do the lucky dip, and the customer visits would be after we're done in this room. So please, while the lunch is going on, one more videos will be played, and we can also take time to interact and catch up as well. So bon appetit, lunch is served. Thank you very much, everyone. Right, so I'll leave that coordination to the ushers. Thank you. Enjoy lunch, please. Thank you.
Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required, as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria are only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required, as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required, as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria are only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute's Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, The data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required, as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular Fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria are only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required, as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria are only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute's Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services for our customers. Our hope now is that this project, Africa's first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center, will continue to boost the ICT industry development in West Africa and propel the ongoing rise of the entire continent.
The most populous country in Africa, Nigeria has maintained steady economic growth over the past 2 decades. Today, it stands as the largest economy on the continent. Unsurprisingly, Nigeria also has the highest number of African internet users, some 90 million or more, the 10th highest national figure in the world. Indeed, the information and communications technology industry is one of the main drivers of Nigeria's robust economic growth, supporting the rapid development of a range of industries from e-commerce to online banking and digital government. Cloud Exchange is a leading system integrator in West Africa and provide end-to-end information technology system solutions. Recognizing enormous market potential here, Cloud Exchange made plans to enter the IDC market. Cloud Exchange has extensive experience in consulting, IT integration, and software services. And the company's strength lies in its expertise in providing complete and convenient solutions for end users. As a new IDC entrant, Cloud Exchange decided to partner with Huawei in order to be able to offer superior IDC services, faster response times to requirement, more flexible capacity expansion, and more reliable data centers overall. This is more conducive to establish a foothold in a fiercely competitive environment.
It takes roughly 1.5 years to 2 years to build a traditional data center in Nigeria. Far too slow to keep up with the rapid growth of international data center services.
To accelerate the process, Cloud Exchange chose a Huawei prefabricated modular data center solution. With most devices pre-installed and pre-tested in the factory, the data center simply has to be hoisted on-site.
As a result, the entire project period was reduced to just 7 months. Our needs were perfectly met, there were no compromises on quality, all end-user services as expected were delivered to the utmost period.
After deploying Huawei's fabricated modular fusion DC solution, however, the data center supports online capacity expansion, with each layer able to function as an independent data center unit. Capacity can now be quickly expanded as needed, without any interruption to live services, reducing the initial outlay required as well as energy costs, all the while increasing the data center load rate. In addition, Fusion DC is configured with an intelligent management system to improve O&M efficiency and data center reliability by implementing proactive prevention.
Most existing data centers in Nigeria only Uptime Institute Tier 3 certified. To fill this gap in the market, Cloud Exchange had to build the first Uptime Institute Tier 4 prefabricated data center in Africa.
Cloud Exchange worked closely with Huawei to develop dual-socket diesel generators, dual-fuel tanks, and equipment rooms in a limited space, maximizing space utilization and ultimately gaining Uptime Institute's Tier IV certification in a process that was significantly streamlined.
Our cooperation with Huawei has been very fruitful.
This project has quickly obtained market recognition and certification from the Uptime Institute, which is a key step for us to enter the IDC market.
In the future, we will continue to provide reliable and convenient services.
the program can continue at the data center, the data center in Ikoyi at the Cloud Exchange office. So while I wait for all discussions and all that to wrap up, I'd just like to itemize what we're going to be doing next. From the instruction that had been passed down to me, we will be moving the showcase, launch, ceremonial, certificate award, ribbon cutting, corporation signing ceremony to the Cloud Exchange office in Ikoyi, right after we finish the session here. So we'll just bring forward the lucky draw for the remaining 2 categories, and then we do the rest in Ikoyi. So for those who are willing to join in Ikoyi, please, I understand transportation is available. Toye, transportation is available, yeah. So you don't necessarily need to drive your car. You could leave your car here, then there's also transportation to come back. So just leave your car here. You could use the transportation to go there, and then you can come back and pick your car. And if you want to drive, yes, you can also drive. All right, so let's start this second part very quickly with the... Sorry, can we take this down? Because it's sort of... we need to probably put it down or put it down beside it. Yeah, so let's just start this segment with the second category of the Lucky Dip, which is giving out 3 Huawei tablets. 3 units of Huawei tablets. So I want to believe we all, for those who are still going to be lucky winners, those that have won before cannot partake in the second and the third category. So for those who are still lucky winners, our names and our cards are already written in the book that are reading in, not the book, written and is collated in a box that we'll have someone to pick. So please, may I invite Mr. Ken, who is also a Huawei Deputy Managing Director. A round of applause for him, please, to come and pick. He has a Nigerian name. He's also Chukwebuka. We gave him a Nigerian name a long time ago when he came to Nigeria. So he's a Nigerian, actually. So Huawei card, yes, but there are names written behind the Huawei card. So don't worry. Yes, three. Okay, would you like to read out the names, or you want me to? Let me give you the mic. Okay, so you can have the mic.
The first one is Unity Bank. Modupe Bello.
Oh. A round of applause for
welcome.
The first winner in the second category.
The second one is...
No, just stay. You don't need to climb.
Okay, I'll calm down.
You'll come down, don't worry.
The second one is Access Bank. Mr. Emeka
Anioku. Emeka Anioku. A lot of applause for him. Wow, yeah. Customers are winning this section. Okay, thanks.
The third one, Red Tech, Mr. Charles. Ogunmola. Are you around?
He has left.
He's left.
So please bring back the box for him to pick another, to pick one more.
Okay. Oh.
Behind, yes. Okay, let me call this Olauton Olamuyiwa. Olauton Olamuyiwa.
He's left.
Okay, he has left. Until we get a lucky winner. We will not move to the
This
next
one
category.
is a tablet.
Yes, it's tablet. Yeah.
And next one is
it's a
it's a paper.
Yes, it's a paper. Yeah, you are allowed to pick it.
Mayowa
Orumbe AELEX. So please come. A round of applause for our lovely winner.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. So please present the tablets to the lucky winners. To the lucky winners. Thank you very much, Ken. A round of applause for Chukwe Buka for that. Thank you. All right, so we'll do the last category, which is the smartphone. It's a P30 Pro smartphone. Something fantastic about this phone. When it was launched, one of my colleagues, we were just standing right in front of our office, and we had to zoom to take a picture of about 4 buildings across the road. And by the time we zoomed to take the picture, it was like the picture was next to us. It's got a very fantastic camera. So it's a P30 Pro, and that's the last category. And only one person, right? Only one person. Only one person will be going away with this. And there is no other one that can do that other than the pioneer. Please let's welcome Mr. Glad Beto. Mr. Glad Beto. So he's going to be the one that will pick the grand prize lucky winner of the Huawei P30 Pro. You could take your time. No, you're so much in a hurry.
I'm just staring the
You're just staring the part.
Should I pip?
It depends on you. It depends on you. You can't look, but you can just pick. So, and let's hope the person you pick is in the room.
Paper or business card?
Anyone you pick.
The crown.
Okay.
Business card, no paper. There's only one paper left. Oh my God. Okay. All right. It's coming up now.
Okay. So we got it. Would you like to announce?
This is rigged.
Is what?
It's rigged.
It's rigged. You rigged it. Not me. I'm not there.
I don't know. All right. Okay. The winner is Aderemi. I know. I swear.
Should we get INEC to check properly, or should we rerun the election? Should we rerun? We should rerun. But that was not rolled out in the policy something.
Well, I picked it in front of all of you, so you guys know. This is the random draw, my brother, and you won. So, yeah.
I guess it's a compensation for a long partnership, I guess. So please present it. Thank you. All right. Wow, that's a very good one, and interesting time. And we really want to say thank you to everyone for taking the time to be part of the event, and congratulations to all the lucky winners. So okay. Sorry, 1 minute. Come here. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, and congratulations to all the lucky winners. And I'm sure it's really been an exciting and expository time for us in this event. Like I said earlier, the remaining part of the program would continue at the Cloud Exchange office in Ikoyi. A transportation has been arranged to take us there so that we can visit the live data center, we can have a tour around and understand a lot more about the things that have been highlighted in this program. Just for us to close the session here, I'd like to invite the CTO, right? Cloud Exchange, Obina Adumike, to give the vote of thanks. A round of applause for him, please. Did I get your designation right? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really been a fantastic day, especially for those that have been there for us, that have been there with us as partners, as clients, as vendors. This was, at some point, an idea that turned into an architectural drawing, designs, thought process went into it, engagement, everything, a lot. Today, it's no longer an idea, it's a reality. If you go to 17B Lugard Avenue, there is a tier 4 data center there, standing, physical, for you to see. Thank you so much for everybody that made that happen. Thank you to our partners, Huawei. Thank you to TD. Thank you to Cloudflex. Thank you, everyone, every one of you. We are so grateful for you and for continued partnership. Synergy, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, and do have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Obina. Thank you very much, Obina. Thank you to everyone for being part of this. I'm sure it's extremely historic for us. And so with this, we bring the session here to close. So do enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful time going to the live data center in Ikoyi. Yes, yeah, a transportation has been arranged. So there will be a guide to lead us to where the buses are. And then they would take people to, it's downstairs. Downstairs at the reception, yeah. Please, if you want to join that visit, please wait downstairs at the reception and then join them to go to the data center. Thank you very much. It's been an exciting time, and do have a wonderful afternoon, and God bless. Thank you.